Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on Thursday touted the millions of dollars being sent to states like New York, including money to make improvements to a bridge just south of Albany. And more cash for New York communities may be on the way.
I would be shocked if we did not continue to see more competitive applications coming in. Many communities have already done very well.
Buttigieg was in Rensselaer County to highlight the $21 million in funding for the bridge restoration. The announcement came a day after the Environmental Protection Agency announced new emission standards meant to phase out gas-powered cars, raising questions over whether the infrastructure for electric vehicles will be in place in the next decade.
We know that we can't run tomorrow's cars on yesterday's charging infrastructure, but we also know that we can't turn back the clock and remain doing things the old way forever.
Speaking with Spectrum News 1, the Transportation Secretary says more work needs to be done to ensure homes and businesses have electric vehicle charging stations, and the federal government is investing to do so in areas that could be underserved.
If you live in a single-family home in the suburbs or a rural area, then charging could be as simple as the plug in your wall, but that's not as easy if you're in a multifamily apartment building. That's why we've got to make sure that there are options, including areas where it is not yet profitable for the private sector to do it on their own.
New York State itself is transitioning to more renewable forms of energy in the coming years. It's a complex and potentially costly change for consumers. Congressman Paul Tonko says all levels of government need to be on the same page.
You can't silo your way forward. There has to be this interaction of agencies so that we're all on the same team pulling with the same goals.
Governor Hochul's office, meanwhile, announcing Thursday $8.3 million for local governments to expand electric vehicle infrastructure. The money comes as a budget deal remains up in the air, a budget that could advance goals of phasing out fossil fuels in new construction.
We're going to work hard through the weekend, so I've laid out my priorities about how to make New York safer, more livable, and more affordable. And that's the budget I plan to deliver.